created for the purpose of holding public hearings and making recommendations on rezonings, use permits, concurrent variance applications, comprehensive land use plans, plan maps, and amendments to the zoning ordinance. I will now take roll. Chairman Lee Duncan.
Here.
Wayne Thatcher. Here. Donald Boykin. Susan Major. David Rubenstein.
Here.
Roger Rupnow.
Here.
Al Pond.
Here.
The petitions will be heard in the sequence listed on the posted agenda. I would like to acquaint you with some of the rules and procedures for this meeting. The applicant and all those speaking in support of the application will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present the petition. The applicant may choose to save some time for rebuttal following the presentation of the opposition. The opposition will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present its position. The city shall not be obligated to provide a full 10-minute period to the opposition if they elect not to use their full time. Since the burden of proof is upon the applicant will be allowed to make closing remarks provided time remains within the allotted time. The staff of the Department of Community Development will be keeping track of time and will inform you periodically of the remaining time for your presentation. Each speaker must fill out a speaker card before speaking and leave it with a staff member of the Department of Community Development. All speakers will identify themselves by name, address, and organization, if applicable, before beginning their presentation. Each application has been properly filed with the Department of Community Development. Signs have been posted on each site. The matter has been advertised and notices have been mailed to property owners affected by the zoning as required by the Sandy Springs zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission's recommendations will be forwarded to the City of Sandy Springs, Marin City Council for final disposition. The Marin City Council hearing will be held approximately 4 weeks from this hearing on the third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located in this building. The Planning and Zoning Department of the Department of Community Development has received each application in conjunction with various agencies and departments, both internal and external of the city. Staff's recommendations, findings, and conclusions are here before us in written form, which has been made available to all petitioners and the public. Demonstrations of any sort within the council chambers is prohibited, so please refrain from any applause, dialogue with the person speaking, or outbursts. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on silent. All remarks will be addressed by the Planning Commission. Please show the same respect to the person speaking that you would expect to receive yourself. In addition, the applicant shall not submit material to the Planning Commission during the meeting, unless requested to do so by the Commission. All materials that you wish to be reviewed by the Commission in consideration of your application should be submitted to the staff of the Department of Community Development to be included in the normal distribution of packages to the Commission. Finally, to the applicant, if your petition is deferred in accordance with the Sandy Springs zoning ordinance, you are required to obtain a new sign for reposting. Failure to repost will result in further delays. There are no exceptions. Thank you.
I'd like to get a motion on the agenda, please. First of all, how many public comment cards do you have?
I have no public comment, please.
Okay. All right, if I can get a motion on the agenda?
I would so move we approve or accept it as written.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And there being no public comment cards, we're going to go to approval of the previous meeting's minutes. Any comments, additions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll
A second, those in favor?
Yeah.
Let the record show I'm abstaining because I wasn't here for that meeting.
All right. And just for the benefit of everybody here, if we slip up a little bit, we're in a little bit of a training session. This is the first time all of us have been put on PCs, so we've been used to dealing with the paper stuff, so hopefully we will smooth this out and race can move along. Patrice?
RZ 09001, CV 09003, 5395 Roswell Road. The applicant is the Church of Scientology. The applicant is requesting to rezone the subject property from OI conditional to OI to allow for a church in the existing building and to expand the building by enclosing the existing parking deck. The applicant is also requesting 5 concurrent variances. Following the previous planning commission hearing, the applicant submitted a revised site plan, including some additional parking areas on site. The mayor and city council at the October 20th meeting deferred the application back to the planning commission to review these changes, which also required 2 additional concurrent variances. Staff is recommending approval conditional of the rezoning request and the concurrent variance request. The staff has also provided 2 sets of conditions, the staff recommended conditions and the alternate conditions, which can be found in your packages.
Thank you. Mr. Galloway?
Members of the Planning Commission, my name is Woody Galloway with Dillard & Galloway. I'm here representing the applicant, the Church of Scientology, in this application. This application concerns 1.78 acres of land located in the northeast corner of the intersection of Roswell Road and Glenridge Drive. The property is currently zoned to the O&I classification, and we're seeking rezoning of that property to the O&I classification to allow the existing structure to be renovated and used as a 43,916 square foot church. We are not proposing to expand the footprint of the building, but utilize the building that's there and improve the basement. The issue that is before you is a zoning issue, but the property is already zoned to the O&I classification. The use has not really been a big issue in this case. Thus far, the main issue that has been discussed is as it relates to parking. The property is zoned O&I, it's along Roswell Road, and so the use has not been the major focus. As far as parking is concerned, the Sandy Springs requirement for parking as far as for church use states that churches and other places of worship must provide 1 space for every 3.5 fixed seats in the largest assembly area, or 1 space per every 30 square feet in the largest assembly area without fixed seats. Sandy Springs and Fulton County before that have always utilized this parking ratio as applied to churches. Applying these ratios to the Church of Scientology would require that they provide 46 spaces. In the original submittal, we had 81 spaces provided. Staff expressed concern with regard to the number of parking spaces provided because of the relatively small size of the church's chapel. And as a result, we then sat down with the city staff, with the city attorney's office, negotiated a set of conditions to address the concerns that they raised. And those conditions included placing an occupancy cap on the total number of occupants that could be in the building at any one time based on the number of parking spaces provided. And that was originally 283 people. However, the last time this came before you, with that cap and with the negotiated conditions, you recommended denial in spite of the staff's recommendation of approval with the negotiated conditions, indicating that the 81 spaces were still not enough based on the 283 person cap. As a result of that, the Church of Scientology has proposed a further compromise that not only reduces the occupancy proposed from 283 to 170 people, but also increases the number of parking spaces provided from 81 spaces to 111 spaces. The result is that there will be 1 space provided for every 1.5 people that is allowed to be in the building. Under the Sandy Springs Code, as I indicated before, churches are required to provide 1 space for every 3.5 seats in the largest auditorium. That does not account for people that could be in the building in a Sunday school